Hi everybody, welcome to Best of British Blackwell. Today we're going to be cooking the winner of the latest viewers poll. Now I gave you the choice between making McDonald's style Big Macs or making Chinese chicken balls and prawn toast. It was close, but the winner was the chicken balls and prawn toast, and what I'm going to do is try and show you how your local Chinese takeaway would tend to make these things and get them to taste just like they would if they were coming from your takeaway. The key to both of these is some special ingredients that you can get hold of quite easily, but they are the key ingredients in making these taste just like they do in the takeaway or at your local restaurant. So come over, have a look at the ingredients, and let's make a start. Okay, so let's have a look at these ingredients. Now obviously, because we're making chicken balls, we're going to be using some chicken breasts. I've got two quite large chicken breasts here, however much you want to use really. The key is with these is just to make sure that you cut them a fairly decent size so you've got a big piece of chicken in the middle. We've also got some raw king prawns here. Very important that they are raw. You don't want to use cooked ones for this, and make sure they are raw. We've got some basic, very ordinary white bread. We've also got some sesame seeds here as well. You're going to need some lukewarm water or just normal water. Now we're going to come to some of the dry ingredients. You're going to need some salt. You're going to need some pepper. You are going to need some umami seasoning. This is also known as MSG or monosodium glutamate. Very easy to pick up in one of your local kind of Chinese cash and carries or anything like that. You can probably get it in the supermarket now. MSG or umami seasoning, very important. And another very important ingredient is the flour that we're going to be using for the chicken balls. Now this is Green Dragon self-raising flour. You can try using other flours, but they just won't taste like your local Chinese takeaway if you don't use this stuff. The key about this stuff is that it's a much finer texture flour, which means that you get a different kind of taste on the batter. You can get hold of this again in your local Chinese cash and carries or kind of ethnic cash and carries if you like. That's where I got mine. You can also buy it pretty easily online from supermarkets and so on. So this is the key to making the best tasting stuff. That's basically it. Those are our ingredients. I'm going to show you now how to make a start on preparing the chicken ready for the chicken balls. Okay, so for the chicken, like I said, it's the size of how you chop these up that is important here. You don't want them too small, but you also don't want them too big. So what I tend to do is just cut the breast and get the mini fillet off there, or the goujon if you like, and then cut these into pieces which are about I would say about 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters. You're looking for about that size. That's about perfect. So our chicken is in about like I said, 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters cubed. What we're going to do now is get some of the seasoning onto this chicken and then give it a coating of the flour ready to dip into the batter. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to transfer this chicken over into a bowl. My hands a quick wipe. We're going to season with some salt, some pepper, and I would say about half a teaspoon of the MSG or umami seasoning. Get your hands in there, make sure that all of the chicken is coated in all of the seasoning. Once that's done, we're going to get a little bit of our flour over and we're going to coat the chicken up in some of the flour ready to be dipped into the batter. So this batter is very straightforward. We're just using the Golden Dragon self-raising flour. There's about 250 to 300 grams in there. What you do is just slowly add your lukewarm water, give it a stir, and this is, I always make a mess here, don't I? This is the only ingredient that we're going to be using. The only 2 ingredients to make this batter. And what you're looking for here is the consistency and texture of like a PVA glue. I'm going to need some more water. So you want it to be quite runny, but also you want to make sure that there's no lumps in there as well. So I'm going to give this another couple of stirs. A little tiny bit more water. And then I reckon that is the kind of consistency that you're looking for. Okay, so what we've got over here is a nice deep frying pan filled with some very, very hot vegetable oil. I'm going to check the temperature in here. This vegetable oil is about 120 degrees. So very, very hot. So be very careful. I'm going to start turning it down now. What we've also got is our chicken here, which has been, as I said, coated with the umami, salt, pepper and the flour so that the batter sticks to it nicely. And then we've also got our batter mix as well. Now, quick check to see if the oil is ready is just get a little spoonful of the flour and just drop it in. And as you can see, flour's coming up to the top, which means this is ready to roll. So what we'll do is we will bring, we won't do that, we'll bring everything as close as we can to the cooker so that we're not too far away, and then we just dip our chicken in and drop it in. Make sure they're completely coated in the batter mix and just drop them into the pan. As you can see, the batter mix is quite thick. It's quite kind of glutinous, if you like. It's not like a batter that, you know, like if you watch my video where I've made the fish and chips before. It's much more kind of sticky than that. And that's that flour that I'm using, the Green Dragon flour. It's the kind of nature of it which makes it ideal for making these balls, because as you can see, it's immediately kind of fluffing up and it's taking on that lovely kind of texture of a beautiful chicken ball that you get from your local takeaway. So I'm going to keep putting these in. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to turn them over and they're going to be done very, very soon. So as you can see, they're all in now. They've been in the oil for about 2 minutes. So starting with the ones that I put in first of all, as you can see, a few have stuck together. I'm going to start turning them over. This is the point where you can start to separate them if they have started to stick together. So they're not quite cooked yet. You can turn them around. Start turning them over. And the texture and the colour that you're looking for, I mean, if you buy chicken balls from your local takeaway, you'll know exactly what you're looking for. It's a lovely golden brown. And we are only a couple of minutes away from actually getting there with these. Just keep turning them over. As you can see, they're not sticking to the bottom of the pan. Again, it's that texture of the flour that we're using. You know, they're floating around in there beautifully, and they're not far off of done, so come back when they're done. Okay, so here we go. We are about 12 to 15 minutes into the cook now, and as you can see, these are a beautiful colour, and I'm very, very happy with them. That's how I like them. So I'm going to start taking these out, just placing them onto a plate with some kitchen roll on them. Hopefully you can hear that. Nice and crispy. So one by one, take them out, drain off some of the excess fat and excess oil, and these are going to crisp on up even more as they're sat on this plate. Now, what we're going to move our attention onto now is using exactly the same pan to make our sesame prawn toast. So I'm going to go around and fish these little bits of crispy batter out, which I'm sure are very, very tasty. And now I'm going to show you the finishing touches to the sesame prawn toast, ready to go into this pan. Now for the sesame prawn toast, it's really just as simple as the chicken balls. It's all about technique, really. So you're going to get your raw prawns and put them straight into food processor, mixer, blender, whatever you want to call it. Then you're also going to go in with some salt, some pepper, again MSG, umami seasoning, straight in there. And then we get a little bit of water, lid on. We want to grind this down into a paste. That is exactly what we're looking for in there. So it doesn't really look the most appealing, but trust me, when you taste it, it's going to be absolutely beautiful. So all you need to do now is get the blade out, put this in the fridge until you want to use it. Okay, this is really, really simple now. You'll remember earlier we made this strange grey looking concoction using the prawns, the umami powder, the salt and pepper. Now what we're going to do is literally get some very bog standard white bread. You can trim the crusts off if you want, but I actually quite like the texture of the crusts when I'm eating this. And then, like I said earlier, it really doesn't look that appetizing, but all we do is get it onto this piece of bread, spread it into every corner, and make sure that you cover every single piece of this bread, because if you don't cover the piece of bread completely, you're not going to get sesame seeds on every piece, because the sesame seeds stick to the prawn mixture. So I would say that that's perfectly covered. Now all we do with this is bring our sesame seeds over, which I've spread out nice and evenly on a little plate. Place the bread face down into the sesame seeds. Give it a push, not too hard, just firmly. Bring it back up. And you'll find that that mixture has been completely covered with sesame seeds. Let's do another one, just for demonstration purposes. So a nice big amount of the prawn mixture, and this is going to change colour and change consistency almost the moment it hits the heat over there, which is exactly what you want it to do, because I honestly just think this looks disgusting at the moment, but it tastes superb. Again, bring the bread over, upside down, onto the sesame seeds, and then as you bring it up, it's completely coated. And then all we do, get a nice big sharp knife and cut it into the shape that you want. My local Chinese has these triangle shapes, which I'm gonna try and copy now. Beautiful. You'll find that the knife sticks a little bit because obviously there's that really kind of sticky prawn puree on there. But don't worry about that too much, the bread will be cut. And then what we're going to do is ferry this straight over to the frying pan and fry this off. So we're going to be using exactly the same pan we used to make the chicken balls. I've just turned the oil down a little bit because this bread will burn very, very quickly. And then all you need to do is take each triangle individually, place it flat face down into the pan. It will float. And I'm going to do 4 at a time, 1 slice of bread at a time. Now you've got prawns in here, so these are not going to take long to cook at all. So don't move from the stove, don't move from the cooker. They're going to cook very, very quickly. So just stay here, get your tongs ready, and get ready to turn these over. You'll see from the sides already that some of that prawn mixture is starting to cook, and it kind of cooks instantly the moment it hits this heat, because this oil is still at about 120 degrees. So they're really not going to need long at all. I would say about a minute, 90 seconds either side, then we're going to flip it over and you're going to see that beautiful texture that we get on this lovely sesame toast. Now look at that, we've turned those over. They're done on the top side. As you can see, the crust of the bread has gone lovely and brown. We haven't burnt the sesame seeds because the sesame seeds will go very bitter if you burn them, and underneath that prawn's going to be cooked out beautifully. So what we'll do is in a minute we'll just keep this going. I'll turn them over again in a minute and I'll show you what they're going to look like on the other side. Okay, and here we go now. These have had about 2 minutes on the other side. And look at that. Beautifully golden, beautifully crispy. So I'm going to take it out and again rest it on some kitchen paper just to drain off the excess fat. Every single one of these is going to be like that. So it's 90 seconds on one side, 2 minutes on the other. You can afford to leave it to go nice and golden brown on the other side because there's no prawn or sesame that you're going to overcook on there. And then literally start the process again. Okay guys, so here we are. We're finished now. We're just loading up the last piece of prawn toast onto this beautiful platter here. Now I'm serving these up tonight as part of a little friends gathering that we got as a little starter. You can make these as part of your whole Chinese meal if you like. Little word of advice for you, excuse me, don't try and move that pan the moment you take this stuff off of the heat. Turn the heat off, move the pan to the back of the stove, don't try and move it, it's very heavy, it's very hot, you don't want to burn yourself. Now let's have a look at these bad boys. We have got, I hope you can hear that crunch on those chicken balls, just like it came out of a takeaway. What we'll do is as well, let's get one of these. Let me get a plate, sorry. Let me get a plate here. Hopefully you can hear that. And look, we've got this beautiful, beautiful succulent chicken in there. You've got that lovely crispy batter around the outside. So good, so moist. What I find with these chicken balls is that I can make these better indoors than I can actually order from the Chinese now. And that's not to any detriment of my local Chinese. It's because these haven't been in a bag, or they haven't been, you know, subject to any delivery time where they go a little bit soggy. These are really, really crispy because they're fresh. Okay. Let's now have a look at this sesame prawn toast. Again, beautifully crispy and brown all the way round. That's what you're looking for. Let's cut into that. Hopefully you can see nice generous portion of prawn all running through the middle of that. Again, another dip in our sweet chili sauce. So good. Again, fresh and crispy because it hasn't been delivered to me. I haven't had to wait 15, 20, maybe even 30 minutes in between it being cooked and being delivered to me. And so simple. Those two ingredients, the umami powder and the Green Dragon self-raising flour for the prawn ball, the chicken balls, sorry, is well worth going out your way to get hold of. You can just keep it in the cupboard like a normal stock ingredient. Also, you can make prawn balls with those as well, and they're just as good. So there we go. Thank you for voting. As a little treat to all my subscribers, because I'm coming up now to 500 YouTube subscribers, this weekend I'm also going to be showing you how to make the Big Macs anyway. So thank you for your support. Thank you for watching. Enjoy, everybody.